Hi, welcome. I'm Damien Wynne, and I'd like to share with you how the webinars I'm doing works actually and how I work. It can maybe there's a lot to explain in a webinar, so I'd like to give it in more detail now actually with this opportunity. So how I'm working is I've been over the last 22 years bringing different techniques for clearing trauma. And I was guided by spirit how to work on all levels of clearing the body information so spirit can embody. And you may ask, how am I doing that? Over the last years, I've been guided to bring in different ways and techniques, which I've been teaching, to clear trauma, to clear mindsets, to clear the subconsciousness. So I'm working very much with the genetic information, which has been passed on by our ancestors, which can knock us out of alignment. So if you imagine that you're a sacred, pure spirit, and your spirit wants to enter this vessel, and there's modules of information which are not in resonance with your spirit. So your spirit's finding it difficult to get into the cells, to get into this physical body. So what I've been guided by spirit to do over the last 20 years is to bring in different techniques which bring in ways to transform and to clear trauma from the physical vessel, from the body, on all levels of the soul. So we have the physical aspect, and we have many different subtle bodies, I think far more than we're aware of. And these keep getting more. It's like if you imagine a harp string and you play it, and then each time you play it, each string multiplies by 10, and it goes finer and finer and finer and finer. So every time I'm working, I'm opening fields up which will open these harp strings in you, and maybe find one of those strings that's frozen. And when it's frozen, your spirit cannot get into that harp string, and the resonance is not there. So what is that I'm doing is I'm bringing awareness, bringing the attention, bringing unconditional love to that string and holding space till it unfreezes. Now, often during the webinar or after the webinars, people may feel different emotions or have dreams or even migraines, because spirit was out of the cells and now suddenly it's got into the cells. So the body is releasing these modules of information. They're like clusters of information. So for example, when a child falls normally or an animal falls, they shake and they shake off the energy. They scream, they shout, they cry. And as we're growing up as adults, we don't do that. We hold it in our system and it builds up and builds up and builds up. But we've been doing that, but also our ancestors have been doing that. So this information we're carrying with us, and it affects us as spirit to embody. So the work I do is in these webinars, I'm integrating hundreds of techniques at once because I've worked it so much in my system that there's a field of information in the field of many, many hundreds of ways of curing all sorts of trauma, all sorts of genetic information, of clearing the subconscious mind, because we may know how to do something, but our subconsciousness believes something completely different, which is from the childhood. So I'm working through ancestral lines, conception, how you were conceived, intentions around your parents at that point, the womb experience, what was happening when you were in the womb, birth, from birth up to now, and a little bit reading into the future as well. Also, I'm working with past lives. The reason I work with past lives is often people say, why do you work with past lives? The reason I work with past lives is because you may have not got back into the body when you're making transition in that life. And there may be part of you still there, but you bring the trauma in because your souls need to remember that you left something behind. So it gives you an opportunity of transforming that trauma. And then that part of you remembers to make transition and come into the now. So if you believe in past lives or not, I know I was skeptical in the beginning because of my heritage. I was brought up as a Catholic as a child. So the past lives are very significant as well. So I do a lot of work with past lives. Also, what I'm working with is the cellular information. So it's like psychotherapy on a cellular level. So I want to see what's happening in the cells, what information is in the cells, what emotions are in the cells, what belief systems are in the cells, and then to transform that. So I develop different ways to transform it and to rebuild the cells closer to who you really are as spirit. So within these webinars, I may not say much. Sometimes I do, or it often sounds like I'm repeating and repeating and repeating maybe the same words or the same sentences. I'm being guided to do that because it takes time to accept that you're lovable. You know, you maybe need to hear it 100 times before it actually gets to the point, but it's breaking, it's transforming through many, many fields of resistance and goes deeper and deeper and deeper. So I always encourage people, when you have the webinar, to watch it again and again and again, because it's going to keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. And they're living recordings. So they're going to really, I'm also giving you information, teachings, transmissions, frequencies. What I've been working with the last very much, I've been doing it for a long time, but I really focused it the last 6 years when I've been living in Greece, is the ancient archetypes. So archetypes are very important because our parents couldn't give us what they haven't given to us. So it's not there. So we can find that information of a strong mother, a strong father, a loving mother, a loving father, a protecting mother, a protecting father from their archetypes. So I've been going to ancient sites, going to museums to connect with the blueprints of archetypes, of leaders, of parents, of partner, of friends, on all levels. And during these webinars, I'm constantly opening up the archetype information, and you'll actually get a sense that what I thought I was afraid of, I'm no longer afraid of, because I'm opening up the fields of the archetypes and dropping them into the genetics. The genetics is like a switchboard. It's like a chessboard. Everybody needs to be in the right place. So I'm the son of my mother, who's on the left side, my dad on the right side, and I'm in front of them. I'm not in the relationship seat. I'm in front of them. And all they need to be is the son with my parents, or brother, younger or older, what it is, with my spouse or sister. So also what's very important in the genetics is that I honor my children, especially the unborn children, because the unborn children are a priority in the system. So I'm always giving allowance and acceptance and honor to our children that we're not aware of. Sometimes we have children who came in for a day or two, or maybe from miscarriage or abortion, and they are our soul children, and they knew on a soul level that they were not going to be physically here for long, but they need to be in your genetics. So I always honor the children, and our children are always in front of us, and they're always connected to their biological mom or dad. If you're adopted, it's okay. The parents who brought you up are like your parents, but they're not your biological parents. We need to get into the energetic field, which is our DNA. And our soul knows who our biological parents are. So even if you don't know who they are, our soul knows. So you simply give that intention, and then the energetic field of the DNA will open up. And when everyone's in the right place, there's a very natural flow in the DNA. Energy, vibration. We are energy, vibration, information, frequency. And if I, for example, take care of my mom and I go and treat her like my child, then I've blocked this natural flow, and there's an imbalance in the system, and I feel overwhelmed. And then the family start relating very strange to me, because I've taken the places and I've disturbed the genetic flows. We don't understand this, or the family don't understand it, but you feel it. You feel overwhelmed. So anytime you're in someone else's genetic place, you've got information in your system which you can't handle because it belonged to somebody else. So that's the genetics. Genetics always shows up overwhelmed when you're in somebody else's place. We can transform everything and we can handle everything which belongs to us, but we can't handle anyone else's information because it's nothing to do with us. So I'm always bringing this guidance in the webinars. If you find you're getting migraines after the webinars, it's all okay. It simply is where the control mechanisms are trying to hang on. So I invite you to breathe from the heart up to the head, the brain, a few times. And release. And I invite you as well that if you're having a shower or each day you wake up, that you bring in the intention that I'm brand new. It's a brand new day, new vibration, new opportunities, and everything I'm doing in this life is brand new today. So it is celebrating the new year every day for me. And if you bring that intention in, you're connected purely into pure presence and grateful for pure presence and everybody in the day that you're going to experience. And then the cells. And you start going into the natural flow, which is the natural codes of the universe. The codes of the universe is the Fibonacci spiral. So it's like the codes of nature will always bring us to a higher frequency. If I'm focusing on the past, worrying about the past, or worrying about the future, or I haven't forgiven someone, or maybe I hurt my shoulder and then my shoulder used to be good and I'm comparing it to the way it used to be, then it's not going to heal. I need to accept the condition I'm in at the moment. And from this, the universal codes will find some ways to heal my body, to create movement, to eat right, to find how to work on the emotional trauma that may be in my system. So in the webinars, as I say, it's a field of information, living information, and whatever I've worked on, I'm simply opening up the information. And through this resonance, even though you're in a different country, you could be in Australia, with the intention of us connecting, there's a natural transmission, but the energy doesn't go this way. It simply just transforms immediately. So that's how energy works. So when two vessels make a connection and one has a frequency which can support the other one, it naturally will start transforming immediately. So during the webinars, you may feel more space. You may feel nothing. It's all okay. If you don't feel anything, I know I experienced that many times, it works. The system information stays around you for days, weeks, till you're sleeping, and it works in your system. That's why I always encourage you to watch the videos again, the webinars again. So I hope that was helpful for you. And yeah, if there's any questions, if you could leave them on Instagram, and then I'll just post some videos answering your questions. And yeah, enjoy the webinars, enjoy watching them again. I always open up the space of all possibilities. I never hold back the information that's in my system. I've had children come with their parents for a session, for example, and the child sits there and then suddenly the child can do everything I'm doing because the child was so open. So it's only our mindsets which block the system. We are incredible creators with huge potential and we're constantly transforming. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. And thank you for the support and thank you for the connection and the interest of being in the webinars. Enjoy. Thank you.